Let's get into our game preview. What are we watching for when the Raiders have the ball?
They gotta run the goddamn ball, man. I mean, that's we gotta see it. I mean, like you said a couple seconds ago, they teams have played, a ton of too high against the Raiders, and they haven't been able to make them pay for it. So far, according to True Media, it's been on 56.3% of the Raiders snaps. The opposing defense has been in too high, which is the second highest rate in the league, and so teams have just been saying you can't run the ball, and the Raiders have been like, "Yep, we can't do it." So we'll see if that changes this week. I would assume that the Panthers take a similar strategy and try to make the Raiders beat them from that perspective. And like I said, I mean, the Panthers' run defense has been terrible this year. If they aren't able to get it going this week, I think there's going to be a pretty big red alarm for where this offense is headed this year.
Yeah, I think Zamir White's a big guy to watch. And I think a couple of guys who had good camps have not done much so far. Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer, they might get some chances this week. So I think there's a lot of tools in this offense which haven't been used yet and still done okay. So I think that's an encouraging sign for Raider fans.
Yeah, there. Look, this is another Vic Fangio esque defense. They're going to run too high, and they're going to challenge the Raiders to run the ball. But the thing is, I think for the Raiders, you cannot just come into this game and just say we're gonna try to run the ball down their throats, and if it doesn't work, we're gonna keep trying and trying. Like they have to be able to have a pass heavy plan in case the offensive line isn't quite gelling yet. And as far as the corners, they don't have bad corners. JC Horn, I think, has potential to be one of the better corners in the league, but he's been slowed down by injuries. Um, they don't have bad corners, but I still think like you have to come into this game with kind of the mindset you had in the second half of the Ravens game, where if you can't run the ball, you have to be ready to go pass heavy. You have to be able to get the ball downfield to Devonte Adams, and I think as far as the passing game, I think you line up in a lot of 3-by-1 formations, and you single up either Adams on one side and see if they double him. And if they double him, you have a route concept for Brock Bowers, who's in on the trip side, going deep or singled up on a linebacker or nickel. And you switch them around. Like you have Brock Bowers singled up on one side and Devonte Adams in the at the number 3 spot, and see what the defense does there too. But there are opportunities to go downfield, and I just think it'd be a mistake to come into this game trying to overly rely on the run game. Like obviously you want it to get going, and you hope like your adjustments and the simplification kind of helps with the run game, but you don't bang your head against the wall just assuming that you're going to be able to do it against this Panthers defense. Because if you do that, you're going to open yourself into a trap game, in my opinion.
Well, based on what Antonio Pierce said, they're gonna do exactly that. He said pretty much gotta stick with the run and give it some faith until it starts working. And so he basically said, they can't get discouraged just because they have a couple negative plays or it doesn't work one drive. So at least through the first half, I think they're gonna be pretty intentional about trying to get the run game going. But like you said, I mean, we saw last week, that when it wasn't working against the Ravens, they pretty much said fuck it and just started throwing it every time. So like, I think you can always do that, but I do think, I mean, not again, this is an NFL team, so it's not like they're just playing against stand-ins out there. But I do think this is a good week as any to try to establish that run in the first half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
certainly will.
I just think be ready, have both game plans in, and yeah, I mean, it does help that if the Panthers can't score, then you could bang your head against the wall all you want. So, what are we looking for when the Panthers have the ball?
See if they
We're
got some
looking.
some Andy Dalton magic, man. I mean, he's 4-0 against the Raiders in his career. Quarterback wins, the most important stat in the NFL. Last time they saw him was not a good time for the Raiders. New Orleans Saints game and back in 2022 when they couldn't get past Anfield. But different team, different scheme, different year. Not super relevant. I know fans have been freaking out about it, but that's really the only intrigue is Andy Dalton. I mean, I guess he did have that start last year. I think it was week 2 where he threw for like 350 passing yards and then never saw the light of day again because they were trying to make the Bryce Young thing work. So, but that's really the only intrigue on this Panthers offense is can Andy Dalton give him some life?
guess can Deontay Johnson do anything? Yes, he's kind of been a disappointment, but maybe it's all Bryce Young's fault. But he's really their best weapon on offense, I think. I mean, Miles Sanders is kind of falling off, and they got what Chuba Hubbard's a running back. He's all right. I think Jonathan Brooks is on IR for when he comes back, he'll be their best player in offense. But until then, they don't have much, and I think that's part of the reason why Bryce Young had some trouble because he didn't have a lot of talent to work with, either up front or at the receiver or at running back. But apparently, it's his fault. And again, he was bad, but I just think this team has a chance to go 0-17.
0-17. Wow.
Nah, maybe.
I mean, they could. They suck. They are bad. So
I don't like this. You guys are sounding way too confident. Like
I
this is
know. I'm
this
going
is headed
against
towards
the
a bad
Raider
bad
fans. Like,
conclusion
how you
right now.
guys are gonna jinx us? And I'm doubling down. I'm tripling down. I'm gonna jinx them.
yeah.
I got the t-shirt gun, and throwing up.
What are you worried about something on the Panthers offense, Ted?
Hey,
Let's hear it.
what worries
No,
you,
I,
Ted?
I just I think you should be. I think they should be very aggressive. Like I think I would like to see them come into this game with a similar plan like they did against Chargers, where they're blitzing a lot on early downs and really testing the communication, testing Andy Dalton, and just kind of in a way disrespecting the receivers. Like you can't beat us, so we're gonna come at you and you know uh,
He's
make sure
80
that you
he's
don't get
80 years
anything.
old, so they're gonna go after him. He's old.
Yeah.
He can't move.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Patrick Graham has blitzed a little bit more
yeah,
than he did last year, and yeah, I want to see him come in with the aggressive game plan, try to get some TFLs. Don't give him any hope. Maybe the Panthers have like a little mental or psychological boost. Like we got Andy Dalton in now. He's going to hit some of our open receivers.
that's definitely a nice boost. But I think, like you said, I think the pass rush will be there. The blitz a little bit. I think Spillane gets a sack this week. I just think this is a good defense. I mean, I think they got Christian Wilkins. He's been as advertised. They haven't really missed Coons too much yet. Knock on wood, but the linebackers, Spillane's been great, and secondary's held up. I think Jack Jones has played well. Ja'Cory Bennett has really answered the call. So I think safeties are good. So I think it's a legit good defense, and legit good defenses don't have trouble with bad offenses with a 50-year-old quarterback at home in their home opener. So again, I'm tripling down and whatever, but I just think it's a good matchup for the Raiders defense and for their offense.
Yeah, and I also think it sends a message to the defense too, like we're not going to just sit back.
Yeah,
Like we're going to come after him, and we're going to be very aggressive, especially early on. I think that's kind of sets a tone. So I want to see that, and I also want to shout out Robert Spillane. I mean, I don't. People were saying PFF gave him a bad grade, but I do not understand how he got a bad grade for the Ravens game because I thought
We
he
don't
was
give a shit about
all over the
PFF
place in the run
grades,
game.
man.
exactly. PFF
We
grades.
got
I mean,
we got eyes. We can see him play football. He played a great game.
aren't they based somewhere like in Holland or something like that? I mean they're nice guys, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Spillane, I thought was phenomenal against the Ravens, against the pass, against the run, and it's just kind of continuing and building on what he's done. So I have, it's not like I spend a ton of time studying linebackers, but I mean, he's got to be a top 10 linebacker in the league. Like this guy's
that's
making
Yeah,
what
plays all over the
that's what
I'd
you
place.
say
fact.
since the start of last season.
Yeah, and if you factor leadership, you factor in kind of like the juice he gives the team. I think Pierce said it yesterday. He's like Max Crosby on a second level. Same kind of mentality, same kind of energy, same kind of work ethic, and just kind of pushing guys to be better. I was shocked last year how good he was, and he's gotten better. So I just think he's really been a great fit, and you can't. I can't imagine they don't get a new contract at some point, and it's a nice one. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into our matchup of the game.
Ooh, match of the game.
I think I'll go with the Raiders' interior offensive line. New look with Powers Johnson if he ends up making his debut at left guard. Andre James at center, Dylan Parham at right guard. I think they've been pretty bad this year. That interior offensive line. Not that the tackles been great. Like I know we got a lot on Miller and Thayer Munford had a rough game last week as well. But when you factor in both running the ball and pass protection, I think the interior offensive line has probably been worse than the tackles. And this should be a matchup they're able to take advantage of. We mentioned Derek Brown is out for the Panthers. Even two other defensive linemen that they have, Robinson and Tuttle, they're injured right now and playing through injury. this is a matchup they have to be able to dominate, establish the run, but also keep Gardner Minshew from having to get hit so much and escape the pocket so much to make those plays in the pass game. And so I think that's what I'm watching in this game, seeing if they can manhandle the Panthers up front and make this offense look like what Pierce wants it to.
I'll say Jack Jones against. I imagine he'll be on Johnson. I think Jack Jones. Throughout training camp and last year, big time playmaker. He's played well so far. He had a big pass breakup last week, but I think it's been overdue now to see pick six. I think a big play from Jack Jones and some turnovers from secondary. So I think the secondary will feast because of the pressure on Andy Dalton. So I think at least two or three. I'll say three interceptions. So I think that's I'm looking at Jack
Three
Jones.
interceptions?
Not for the secondary, for the defense.
Oh,
Not for Jack Jones.
okay.
No, I think Jack Jones will make it. I just think that I think we saw Jack Jones like he was a dominant player last year, and he was in training camp, and even in preseason. He's kind of taking the back seat so far, but I think it's a good matchup for him. I think he'll be able a chance to jump some routes and make some plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the corner receiver matchup, but I'm gonna go on the other side of the ball. I have less faith that the Raiders' run game is going to get going as efficiently as you guys think is going to get going. I think they're still going to need some explosive pass plays, and
Negative.
I think we'll see some one. I think they're going to let J.C. Horn get some one-on-ones with Devontae Adams or Brock Bowers. I mean, they're going to see Devontae will see his fair share of doubles, but there are going to be opportunities for him to go one-on-one with J.C. Horn. And I think they're going to single up Brock Bowers outside too. And when they get those matchups, are they going to be able to complete and finish those big plays? And I think they'll be able to. But to me, that's what I'll be watching for in the offense. All right, X factors.
Andy Dalton. That's my guy, man. I'm rolling with Andy Dalton. See if he can give the Panthers any sign of life in this game. If not, then they'll get eviscerated. Just go with the quarterback. I mean, every week you've had the quarterback, so just say Andy Dalton too, and we can keep pushing.
I got to change something.
Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting inserted in his line. Big hype around him, and he's should be the most physical Raiders offensive lineman. We'll see if he can kind of give this run game a little bit of a boost.
I got X Factor is going to be Luke Masterson / Tommy Eichenberg. Because I think Divine Diablo has had some issues the first 2 weeks. I think Pierce is really high on Eichenberg, and Masterson's solid. I think those guys, if they play well and are solid on defense, don't make any mistakes, you might see them push Divine down the road a little bit. Eichenberg may make a pitch to play more often than he has been. So my X Factor is that linebacker spot if Divine can't play.
Let's get into our predictions. I have a feeling which way this will go, and Raider fans might not like it.
I'm gonna go Raiders 27, Panthers 7. I think they're gonna kick their ass because they suck.
I'll go 34-13 Raiders. I think it's like I said, it's homecoming week. And Zamir White is your prom king this week. It'll be a nice little parade.
It was his birthday Wednesday, so he's got some extra juice
Birthday,
this week.
prom
Yeah.
king. I think he gets right. I think the O-line plays a little better. I think Zamir has had, even though he's not done well, he's had flashes first his plays where like a nice run to the Chargers. Obviously, Bosa punched the ball out. I think he had some nice runs on the stretch last week. So I don't think he's totally been a lost cause. So I think Zamir White has bounced back week. And I think it's a pretty easy win. It should be an easy win. I think they're focused and motivated for the home openers. So easy win for the Raiders.
What's the spread for this game?
I want to say Raiders are 7-point favorites.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a little closer. I think I'm gonna say is a little closer than people think. I'm gonna say 23-17.
Panthers cover.
Wow.
So we all again, and this will put the end to all this ridiculous jinx talks. Then we all pick them to win. They're gonna win, and we'll raise our caps on Monday.
If they lose,
this could go sideways.
If they lose, Raiders fans are gonna blame us. That's fine.
We might have to do a Bryce Young and bench ourselves for our predictions for a few weeks.
He benched himself.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
Or Neil, our producer, has to bench us.
Oh, Neil can jump in and pick the Panthers to prevent the jinx. Come on, Neil, jump in and pick the
Yeah.
Panthers. He's a
No,
Raider fan.
That
That's
is not happening.
it's not. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Not
Sorry,
happening.
guys. We tried.
The jinx lives, but it won't live. It's all good.